Yay! Welcome. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
Welcome.
Of late, I've been enjoying so much Korean movies. I love their acting. It's
Don't.
wonderful.
It's dangerous. Korean movies are
Audible.
so addictive.
Yeah, I like the horror movies and then the action movies. Yeah, damn.
Have you seen Train to Busan?
I've seen
Yes.
the one and the two.
Oh, my goodness. I have not because I do not like horror movies. But I heard it's good.
Oh no, it is. I have watched it like 4 times.
Well, can I ask what's the title that you watch 4 times? The drama?
No, it's Train to Busan.
음.
Yeah. Train to Busan.
아, 부산에. 에이, right.
Yeah. I think what do you call it? There is a Korean drama, the series. There's so many different series, and there's a big following in Singapore and Malaysia for Korean dramas. Huge.
Yeah, even in Ghana here. But I'm not in
Really?
the it's huge in Ghana here. I'm not in the drama category. I am more of the horror and then the action flick.
No. Sorry, no horror for me.
Okay, so we are right
Okay.
on top of the hour. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so mic check. Are we good to go?
Good to go.
All right. GM everyone, welcome to the Bankless New Joiner session. And this is our get-together time for all of the wonderful new people who have joined the DAO in recent weeks, and for folks who have probably been in the DAO and have had difficulties in contributing. So this is our very, very good vibes only session. And as you can see, the pre-vibe session, I hope you felt it, and it's a very human to human space. So once again, you are officially welcome to Bankless DAO. And the new journal session is divided into 3. We have the hype session where we are going to walk you through the DAO in general. We have the vibe session where we are going to have a heart-to-heart with you, try to answer some of your provide insights and advice on how you can better contribute in Bankless DAO. And then we have the LFG session where we all go back to our home, aka our Discord, and then see how best we can progress from there. So that is what we have for you today. And I am going to rush, like I'm going to run through this slide real quick, because the highlight of the day is the vibe session, the one-on-one session. And so if you can, I'm sharing my screen right now, so you can follow the discussion. But it is good we introduce you to Bankless DAO. So Bankless DAO is, oh, my slide is moving. Hold on. So Bankless DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization that steers the Bankless movement. And the movement is all about progressing the world towards a future of greater freedom. And we do that by creating user-friendly on-ramps to help onboard people to crypto and Web3. And the DAO as a community operates on certain principles. And this is very, very important to us as a community. We have education. So you know that Bankless DAO is one of the biggest media DAO in the world. And we do that through educating the entire world. We also educate each other. We learn from each other, we collaborate, and we keep learning. So education is a central part of what we do. Integrity The community members are encouraged to be um, highly exhibit trust, and avoid all of the negative stuff that comes with crypto, and help direct people towards the goodness of crypto. So you operate in a highly trust ecosystem or community. We have decentralized governance where we collectively make decisions together to move forward as a community, right? As a people. We have culture, and as you can see, we have people from all over the world. I really loved it when Whitefor said we should share our countries. As you can see, just this call alone, we have people all over the world joining in from. So the culture is it's all over the world coming together to work towards the mission of educating the world about crypto and Web3. So the next slide, if you are watching my screen, is the Bankless Nation. And someone may ask, so okay, we know, you've spoken about Bankless DAO, and maybe you've heard of Bankless Nation. What is it, right? And in fact, you could say that what's the scope of Bankless DAO? What is our scope? So the scope of Bankless DAO, in simple language, is the entire of the crypto space. So the education, the onboarding, all of the things that we do encompasses the entire crypto space. So if you look at my screen right now, you would realize that top left, you see Bankless DAO there. And then anchored to Bankless DAO is the Bankless HQ, which is the origin of Bankless DAO, right? So Bankless DAO has its origin tied to Bankless HQ. And you could see that there's literally a rope there that is tying the two together. But Bankless DAO has become the bigger community that is housing or that is stewarding the Bankless movement. And so now Bankless HQ is part of Bankless DAO. So you can think of it as an organization within Bankless DAO. And Bankless DAO itself has a lot of organizations, which we'll get to very soon. And then you would see that we are right on the frontier lines, right? So the frontier lines, we are talking about the frontier of internet money and internet finance. And the frontier of internet money, internet finance covers what? Ethereum, you see the kingdom of Ethereum, you see the citadel of Bitcoin, and all of the other stuff that comes with crypto. So we are here to guide people in the right direction, whilst making sure that people who embark on this journey end up with greater financial freedom and economic empowerment and individual self-sovereignty. That's what all the Bankless movement is about. My next slide is, let's delve a little bit into the DAO. If you are new and you are looking to contribute to Bankless DAO, you need to understand the structure of the DAO, right? So if we pick the DAO and split it, what are the units of the DAO? There are 4 major units of Bankless DAO. We have the guilds, which are the talent hubs. So wherever you are coming from or whoever you are, there's a possibility that the skills and experience that you have, there would be a community within Bankless DAO that you can join that will feel at home. So whether you're a writer, you're a developer, you're a designer, you're a marketer, there might be a guild for you. So there are guilds, there are projects. So projects are basically initiatives that some are building on ramp, off ramp systems, some are educational in nature, etc. Right? Some are tooling in nature. And if you are here and you have an idea, you can also, in fact, launch a project out of Bankless DAO. We have the grants committee, which is a steward of the community treasury. We have the departments, which are basically essential operating units of the DAO. They help the DAO function on a daily basis. So these are the units or the organizational units of the DAO. So you will either be contributing to one of these or multiple of these. So take notes, right? So guilds, projects, grants committee a bit different because there's a process to if you want to contribute in Gango, there's a process. So yeah, that one might not be okay for like new members, but the guilds, the project, the department is there for new members to join in. Okay, so in a snapshot, this is what Bankless DAO is all about, and it has both a historical perspective. Since the DAO launched, it has grown. The token of the DAO has grown to over 5,000 wallet holders, making it the most widely held social token in the crypto space currently. In terms of governance, we've had cumulatively over 3,000 people voting. The DAO has also been developing products. There have been over 30 plus projects that have come out of the DAO. In terms of the guilds, we have like 14 guilds right now. Media nodes. The media nodes are basically entities that carry the mission of Bankless DAO to other part of the world. We have 20 plus of them, right? And all of these things come together towards one goal, which is progressing the world towards a better future by onboarding them to crypto and Web3. So briefly, let's look at this governance. And this slide is here because as a community, we believe that collective decision making is what would progress us forward. We believe that proper coordination and collaboration is what would make us successful, and it's what would also make the crypto space successful, right? The crypto innovation itself is powered by coordination, right? And that's what the peer-to-peer thing is about. It's all about. Without coordination, nothing is possible. And so that is how we go about our governance. We encourage collective activism, collective decision making, collective discussions throughout the community. And so if you are new, we highly encourage you to engage in conversations. If you have the opportunity to join a guild, a department, any of the organizational units, be part of the discussion, share your thoughts, share your opinions. And usually proposals, the DAO makes decision through proposals, right? There are various ways. One way is proposals. So you have discussions happening in the Discord, and some of those discussions would surface and progress to the forum, and then we progress to snapshots, right? Usually for those that have that are organizational level, the DAO level, right? They will usually progress to the channel in the Discord called governance. So I highly encourage you to get involved there. So that is governance at the DAO level. And then if you go down to the project level, there's also governance happening there. If you go down to the guild level, there's also governance. So the moment you join a guild, make sure that your voice is heard. Make sure that you express your opinions on various things, right? And we don't actually consider you being new or old. All views are welcome. All perspectives are welcome. So yeah, so that is that. I think the Education Guild organizes how to governance sessions. So if you are interested, that's somewhere to continue your learning journey from if you want to delve into governance. The next one is NFTs. Bankless DAO is home to a lot of NFT projects, and the community itself is NFT oriented. Some pretty iconic NFTs have come out of Bankless DAO, some of which have very practical use case. And I'm going to start right off from the left bottom, DAO Punks, which is basically helping folks transition to DAO lives. And they give grants, 1 Ethereum for people who are transitioning. So if you are here and you are looking to go full-time DAO, you can apply. They run it in cohorts. So the next cohort might become, they just ended the previous cohorts. Congratulations to NS. We have one member here who literally got grants from DAO Punk. So if you are here and you are interested, keep an eye out for DAO Punks. The next cohort might be coming up. Maybe you have a project you are working on and you want some grant to support it. It's a good way. Maybe you yourself, you want to transition fully to DAO life. It's a good project that can support your transition. Top left is the Chippy. And these are uniquely crafted NFTs for individuals of the community. And these are unique to the point that even without the names, the community is able to identify the person based on the chippy design, right? So no two chippies are the same. They are very, very unique, and they are well crafted. And so if you are within the community and you would like a chippy, you can they have a Discord now, but you can, Pechi is the project lead for this. And then you have Right is the one of the Bankless locations. And if you take your time and you look through this, you would there's a lot of message in there, right? You see optimism, you see bridges, there's so much. So yeah, NFTs are part of the community. Merch. So I always say this: we don't just talk about the crypto culture, we also wear the crypto culture. So if you're interested, we have a merch store, ultrasound merch store. We also have the Meta Factory. You can check it out. Various branded Bankless DAO merch and more are there. So you can buy, and the good thing is that you can actually buy on Polygon with Bank. So yeah, that's it. So the community is all about merch. The next slide is, and like I indicated, right? I'm basically zooming through the slides. It's just a way for you to have a generalized overview of what the DAO is about, to pick your interest to explore more. So Bankless DAO has an education front. One of such education fronts is the Bankless Academy. And the Bankless Academy has various courses and lessons there for people starting their journey or already at some point in their crypto journey. So they have a lot, right? I always recommend new members to check out the Web3 security and then the wallet basics, because the fraud and the scams in crypto is a lot. And you might probably have already received like a DM on Discord by someone trying to fraud you. So it's always important to take security very, very seriously, especially for all of the newbies who are starting out. Some of our members have been like frauded a lot of times. We had a community member as at last week. Yeah, she got frauded. I think one Ethereum. So yeah, it's always not fun. So I always recommend people to check out the wallet basics and the Web3 security course for those who are starting. Now, Bankless Academy is not just an education platform, it is also a protocol. What that means is that you can fork it, or you can integrate it or implement it in your community. If you have a community or a website or etc., you can get in touch with them and they can implement it for you. So maybe for some of us who are in other part of the world that is not so English spoken, if you want to build your own like education Web3 native education platform, you can get in touch with them, and then you don't have to build from scratch. They will just build on top of this for you. And so that is Bankless Academy. Next thing is the media notes. So the media notes, like I indicated, are organizations or projects that ensure that the mission and the vision of Bankless DAO reaches every corner of the world. And as we know, it's less than 5% of the world actually speaks English. And so how do we get the rest of the world to understand what crypto truly stands for, right? The original vision of crypto. So that is where that's where the media note comes in. So the media notes are projects that translate various content or educational stuff from Bankless into various languages. Two, media notes are entities that make sure that the crypto education information, etc., are put into cultural context that people can understand based on their location, right? So that is what the media node is all about, and it's spread all over the world. The media node is one of the things that has made Bankless DAO gone global, right? Unlike any other DAO in the world, like Bankless DAO is the most global DAO as far as I am concerned. There's so many media nodes. So as you can see, there's Brazil, Turkey, so many, right? And there's also Bankless Africa, which is basically progressing Africa towards a bankless future. So in Africa alone, there are like over 54 countries in there. So yeah, the media notes, it's one of the projects that I'm always excited to talk about because they ensure that the real ethos of crypto reaches certain corners of the world that has been impossible till now. So yeah, that is the media note. Now, if you are here and based on your location, there is no media node, maybe your local language, you can literally bootstrap your own media node and then bring the content and education in that language. So our friend from South Korea can literally spin up a Korea media node if there is nothing like that. And then she can translate the content into the Korean language for the people to really understand and appreciate what crypto is all about. So yeah, so that's what the media node is it's all about. And I always love to talk about the media node, the media nodes. Pools and protocols. Maybe you have bank, or maybe you don't have bank. Maybe you want to get access to bank. You want to buy bank. You can get it on Uniswap or Balancer. Maybe you have bank and you want to put it to work, provide liquidity. You can also get it on Balancer or Uniswap. And so, friends, good friends, this is a general overview of what Bankless DAO is all about. A detailed overview. It is just something to spark your interest, to help you delve deeper, and just have the energy to explore more. And so that is all for this session. And I am going to hand over the mic to our good friend Ernest of Gaia to walk us through how to actually get involved in the DAO. Thank you. Wagmi, we're in this together.
And thank you, Think Decade. Yeah, let's see if I can share my screen. Bam. Is that coming okay, clear for everybody?
Yeah.
All right. All right, GM. And yeah, it was really cool being part of the DAO cohort. And yeah, basically allowed me and a researcher in RN DAO to start doing research into rewards, compensation, and incentives in Web3. So that's pretty cool because I don't know anybody who's not asking those questions about how do incentives work in Web3. It's not always clear. But hopefully today, I will kind of, and this will also be kind of a bunch of content to quickly go through. But hopefully it'll give a real good a good overview of the DAO basics, what influences the DAO, and in particular how it's organized. As you can see, my chippy is in the corner. That's my hair's just gotten longer. I actually own a pair of earrings that have the kind of shell on there. And it's real interesting traveling around other DAOs and then hanging out with other cheapy. So if you don't have a PFP, we can get you one. Can't guarantee that it'll be a chippy, but we love getting folks PFPs that are new to Web3. So I kind of start from like a macro view of what influences and shapes Bankless DAO. And the easiest way, what I like to start with are the seasonal cycles. This will be the last season that is a 3-month cycle. Throughout the rest of this year, we'll be moving to a 4-month cycle. And then at the beginning of each year is when our seasons will start. And then we'll have, 3 seasons a year, beginning and ending on the first day of each year. But seasonal cycles affect every guild and every project and all the DAO members, mainly because the funding cycles align with our seasonal cycles. And so likewise, a lot of projects, a lot of onboarding, and a lot of education revolve around these seasonal cycles as well. We like to, do this, quite a bit of education like every season. So we have, seasonal new joiner sessions, seasonal, every season we're doing collab and tools and whatnot. So these seasonal cycles really affect a lot of the workflow or work cycles that go on in the DAO. And recently we've instituted gap weeks as well. So season 0 was our first season, and it was 2 months long. And season, I think 2, we switched to 3 months. Now we're switching to 4 months to kind of just reduce the administration that goes on with each season. And we'll more in season 4 is when we did our first gap week, which is kind of like a mandatory, break. Basically, we just agree to like not schedule any meetings during the seasonal gap weeks. And when we move to 4 seasons, we will likely have more than one gap week per season. A lot of people still work. A lot of people meet at their own time, but largely meetings and work, are just not required. So these seasonal influences are like environmental factors. Internally, we are a DAO, we're an organization, so we have membership levels in Bankless DAO. These we'll be suggesting changes to these levels over the end of this season going into next season. But essentially, right now we have a guest pass level. The guest pass entry into the Discord, no bank is required. People have to renew their guest pass every 2 weeks. And you get full access to the Discord. There are some social channels that are restricted from or gated to people that hold 35,000 bank, but largely all the work, all the governance, completely accessible to guest passers, so that new folks into the DAO or into Web3 can get a feel for what it's like, before one makes a decision to start accumulating bank tokens. Once somebody does have 35,000 bank in their wallet on either the ETH mainnet or on Polygon, once that's been verified by the Collab Landbot in Discord, you become an L1 member. This removes the necessity of having to request over and over your guest pass, and you now just permanently have Discord permissions as long as you're, still holding on to 35,000 bank. We do allow folks, we do monitor or check if folks have their bank in some liquidity pools, so that you can still get access to your voting power with the bank token. But essentially, as long as you have 35,000 bank, you're an L1 member of the Discord. You get your basic Discord permissions. For L1s who have kind of, who are reliable, who are helpful, who are available, they can get nominated to be L2s. And as a L2, you still have to have the 35,000 bank. But you get elevated Discord permissions so that you can help administrate some Discord activity, whether it's helping new members with their profile, helping to manage, pinned messages or other, just kind of maintenance around the Discord channels, helping to keep things organized. But you don't get, it's kind of a reputation level, but it fundamentally depends on still holding the 35,000 bank. We do have 2 additional like social roles or levels in the DAO. Essentially, if you have 150,000 bank, you're considered a L3. You actually have less permissions as a L3 than a L2. It's really just a social acknowledgement that says, you know, you're kind of committed to holding bank, um, and you get like one extra social channel in the Discord. Bank, of course, is the token, our governance token that we use to vote with. So by accumulating the bank token when we vote in Snapshot, the more bank you have, the more weighted your votes are in the major DAO decisions. So members are in the Discord. If you're could be a token holder, but once you're in the Discord, you're usually looking to do some work or to collaborate with people, or to have a good time, you know, working on things of your personal interest. And essentially, the first place that you should go is in the general category, kind of near the top of the Discord. We have a role select channel. And here's where you can find the most current lists of all the guilds, departments, and projects for which you can learn about and participate in. You'll kind of notice in the Discord that most of the social channels are up top, and then as you get further down into the Discord channel, you start finding work channels of the different guilds and projects. But when you go to role select, you'll see a listing of guilds, departments, and projects, and they're all associated with an emoji. When you click on the emojis associated with the projects, you get a Discord role tag associated with that project, and it gives you permission to use the category in the Discord associated with the project. So if you want to hang out and help design courses and learn about what's going on in the education department, you'll always have access to our like Start Here channel, whether you have the role tag or not. But if you want to communicate in the voice channels and get notifications and whatnot, the best thing to do is to make sure you have that emoji clicked and that you have the role tag. You can, of course, come back to here anytime and remove the emojis. A lot of times when new people come in, quite often they get overwhelmed from the amount of information and notifications that they get in Discord. So do know that you can, there are ways to reduce the amount of notifications that you get as well as increase them. So the role select is a great place to find out, you know, individual guilds and projects. You also want to make sure that you try to attend our community calls or listen to the recordings of our community calls, which take place every Friday at 3 p.m. UTC in the amphitheater, which is at the top of the Discord. And you know, one of the main things about Bankless DAO from the very beginning was, you know, the reason why we have so many channels in our Discord is that as soon as 2 or 3 people start having a conversation or an idea or commit to action items, we create a public channel for it. And guest passers, L1s, L2s all have access to our DAO calendar. And all of our meetings are public. Some of them are maybe more work meetings and less kind of free-flowing and, you know, update kind of meetings. But usually in every meeting there's space if you're a new person to introduce yourself to that guild or project. And in these guild and projects, in the events that you find in the calendar channel, you will generally find talent coordinators who are looking for you and looking for folks that are asking questions. And so the best way to kind of get in touch with those talent coordinators is to look for the Start Here categories or channels in every category. And you can also go to the Get Involved channel at the top of our Discord, right underneath learning opportunities. Ask questions, look for ways to get involved, and people in those channels will, get to your questions and help direct you around the guild or around the DAO. But always just recommend to folks, go to the calendar, find things at times that are convenient for you. If the name sounds interesting, click on the event and try to attend those meetings. If you have any questions on where a particular meeting is, because sometimes it isn't always that clear, again, just ask and get involved where a meeting is, and somebody will usually direct you. We also have a channel called No Stupid Questions. If it means that there aren't any stupid questions, it's not saying, that stupid questions aren't allowed. So members accumulate bank, get access and permissions into the work in Discord. I will mention that we just had passed a proposal to have a membership level essentially called Time Locked Bank. So one of the ways in the future or the end of, or starting next season that you'll be able to get your L1 membership is by agreeing to lock up a certain amount of bank for 6 months to a year. And so then if you lock up your bank, you'll then get your Discord permissions. So that's a rather new event that just happened this past week. So essentially, as Bankless DAO members, we will work for Bank. If you're interested in voting and doing media and helping to shape the media or the relationships in this space, as a Bankless DAO member, basically it means you will work for Bank. You're not always required to work for Bank, but that's kind of the general statement. And so by finding work in projects, contributing to roles, working is just one way to accumulate bank. Oftentimes just participating in discussions, asking questions, providing feedback. There are ways to tip folks in bank in our Discord. So quite often you may see that you've gotten a tip. We do have different types of compensation systems in the DAO. We do everything from role holder salaries for work that's expected and needed on a routine bank list to bounties. We also use apps like Coordinate to kind of peer review and reward each other's work, especially for work that's kind of unplanned or ad hoc. And you can find bounties and work in several different apps. Usually the best ways is always like during the meetings of a particular guild, department, or project. But many organizational units in the DAO use an app called D-Work. Bankless DAO itself also has a bounty board. And then there are, a host of other platforms always coming into the space. So other than working for Bank, Bankless DAO is always looking at providing liquidity for its token into the overall ecosystem. So currently the Arrakis Uniswap pool on the ETH mainnet is a liquidity pool where people can put their bank, get a almost zero risk yield, just based on providing liquidity and allowing Arrakis to kind of manage a position for you on Uniswap v3. We have several education courses that get more into depth about liquidity pools and how all this works. But DeFi, passive income, is just as important in the strategies that we use as working for a bank. We have a lot of tools to learn. This is a great place to learn tools, tools that are frequently found across a lot of different DAOs in the system. I'm going to go over just a few of them here, but they're over. And in the education department, we're always teaching about these tools. So you may have heard of guild.xyz, which is what we use for POAPs and some gated membership features. We have the Sesh bot, and the Governator bot, which allows us to do calendars and different types of polls in the Discord. As I mentioned, Bounty Board, the Bankless Bounty Board, DWork, Collab.landbot, which is now a cooperative in the Web3 space, and one of the most widely used Discord bots. Of course, Coordinate. Sobel is an organizational mapping tool managed in Ops Department workstream. We use Snapshot for our voting platform for major DAO decisions. We use discourse forums, and some groups test Commonwealth or apps like Wonderverse and Charmverse. And of course, we've recently adopted ThriveCoin, which helps us basically have a community building reward system for a lot of common contributions in various projects in the DAO at large. You can learn these basics, these tools, in the how-to sessions by the education department. Gotta update this slide here. We used to be called the Education Guild, but basically our calendar page or calendar database can be found on our main education department Notion page. Under the live sessions toggle, essentially every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 2 p.m. UTC, we're doing live educational sessions. These are recorded for folks that want access to this information async, but mainly in the education department, we really focus on providing live education, and so we can help people learn by doing and practicing things in Web3. Best way to find out about the learning opportunities is either in the education department announcements channel or at the top of the Discord. There is a learning opportunities channel where we invite different guilds and projects and departments to post the learning opportunities that may be in their projects. Get involved, and you're always free now to use the new joiner sessions channel to connect with each other, or to continue to ask questions. Social media. So we are a social media DAO. Boom, boom, boom. We have all the standard, the DAO itself, and a lot of the organizational units have their own Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube channels, Telegram channels, but you also have podcasts, everything from Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, Twitch. You'll find all the different Web2 platforms, and you'll even start to see folks using different Web3 platforms as well. So whether you're helping an organizational unit or trying to build your own web presence, if social media interests you, there's always something and some place for you in the DAO. Some of the best some of the the podcasts that we have in Bankless DAO. This is not an exhaustive list by any means, but the Crypto Sapiens podcast is one of the longest running, member-based kind of podcasts. We also have in the AV department or AV guild came the idea of a podcast hatchery. So we have lots of services and talent resources to help folks develop their own podcasts or to help with developing podcasts, just going on within the DAO. Making Bank is one of those podcasts, and Bankless Africa also has more than one podcast that's just amazing. Publications as well. So Bankless DAO has a Substack. We like to support and encourage folks who write on Medium. Also starting to see folks on Mirror and Paragraph, Web3 publication platforms. Some of the newsletters, Decentralized Arts. We have, we don't, I think, any longer have the Gearing Up Guild updates, but Bankless Africa newsletter, State of the DAOs. The one, kind of must-read newsletter, if you want to, get a real good overview of what's going on in the DAO each week, is the weekly roll-up. And with that, welcome to Bankless DAO. That is the end of section 2.
Thanks, Ernest. Okay, we're now into the vibe session, which is what everybody really, really enjoys. And I've split this group into 2 rooms. So you'll go into your breakout room, and in the breakout room, there will be at least 2 facilitators that will introduce themselves to you. And this is your chance to ask any question you want regarding whatever you've heard or things that you feel that we haven't covered. So please bring that up. So, and it'll be a 20-minute session, and then you'll be all rugged and thrown back into the main room. So please enjoy it. It's a great fun time for everybody to get to know what's happening in the DAO. So I'm going to start the breakout room now, and you'll all disappear from the main page.